Hello and welcome to USTS, the Ultimate Sports Training Show. I'll be your host for today's show, Bob Lemire. I got two unbelievable guests today. Not probably, the greatest fighters ever to come out of New England, from Boston area. This was 40 years ago. We all used to fight together. The school from Lawrence would go to Boston or go to any tournament and meet the boys from Boston, and we would have a rumble. And now they're great friends. Major Battle, welcome to the show, Major.
Thank you. Hello.
And Sid Gardner, welcome, Sid.
Pleasure to be here.
Major's been on the show a few times. Tell just a little about yourself. What's going on, Major?
Still working. Not fully retired yet, and still training whenever I get a chance to, and just enjoying life.
As usual.
Yes.
You've been like that since I've known you.
I know.
I know. Sid, what's going on? Tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, well, funny thing is when I met Mage, I was 13 years old. And actually, it was my birthday present. And I always say to my students and also to my mother, she just passed away, I said, this is the longest kicking birthday present I've ever had.
There you go.
And it's the best in the world. And when you can give that same present to other people, it makes you feel much better.
Right.
And
Right.
I've been teaching since 2000. Came out of J.H. Kim in Kenmore, the Kenmore area of Boston. And when we came up, it was tough. It was really tough. And when I say it's tough, we fought on the streets, we fought in the gym.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah. You know, it's and we all used to fight the same. I think you guys kept going. I retired about 33.
Actually, I'm still competing.
Oh, there you go. See, well, you didn't retire.
Yes. He's trying to get me to come back. I'm like, I look at him. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you kidding? My tongue come rolling out like the red carpet.
Me and Major want to do something together, and
Yeah.
hopefully that goes. But we'll see. The older we get, the better this goes. But
we'll limp to the ring.
it's oh my God, it's funny because as you go to a tournament, and if you lived in a city, I lived in Lowell, smaller city, but it was a mill city.
Mm-hmm.
The streets are full of gang kids,
Yeah.
and that's how you grew up.
Yeah.
So if you end up knowing fighting or just fighting all the time, and you had it in your blood, then you went and trained and learned how to really fight.
Right.
You go to tournaments, you felt it. You say, "I'm going through this my whole life."
Yeah.
And you can almost tell someone at a tournament who really never had to fight their whole life.
Oh, yeah.
You could tell.
Yeah.
Just by
Always.
looking at their face,
Always.
their body movements.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the sad thing about it is that you have a lot of schools nowadays will harp on the fact that these people can't fight, and they'll show them a few techniques, but they don't really teach them anything. And so the time that they do find out that their technique is horrible is when someone who has skills from a school that is fully training kicks the crap out of them. And I say this because I had one of my students, she was a green belt, and we went to a tournament, and it's actually his cousin.
There you go.
And we went to a tournament, and she was a green belt at the time. And everyone in her division was, she beat all of them, but then they said that she had to fight another person. They couldn't find her anywhere on her side, so they gave her a red belt.
Nice.
And she was a green belt at the time.
Yeah, that's
And
Stuff.
I say this because the red belt now found out what a real person that
Right.
trains does.
Right.
And she trained with me every day. When I say every day she trained with me. She wiped that girl up so much on that floor, you would have, it was just ridiculous.
Yep.
I sent that video to Mage the other day. He was like, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, I guess it runs in the family.
You know what bothers me is we didn't have the easy film like on the phone
Right.
back in the day.
Yeah.
No.
I just got that one fight of you and me, but that was a camera you had to bring.
Yeah.
And,
Or you had to get a friend that
that
was
would
doing it,
hold-
and they had some kind of camera.
That's right.
You know.
And now you got the phone and you could everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too bad because
Yeah.
I like looking back at my old technique.
Oh, yeah,
It's so
yeah.
much fun.
And I look at the crowd behind the ring when
Yeah.
we were fighting, and we had like a big crowd.
Oh, all the time.
Real
Yeah.
huge crowd.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And all friends.
All
Right.
yes,
And,
all friends. Because even afterwards, we either go out to dinner together, or at some
God,
point
yeah.
we'll meet up again, or we see each other at the
Yeah,
tournament
yeah,
again.
Yeah.
It wasn't about going and breaking bones. It was about going there and just honing your
Honing
skills
it,
and your
that's
technique.
right.
That's what competition is about.
That's right.
That's
yeah.
it. Nothing more. And when I say that I compete not for a medal.
Yeah.
I compete just to keep sharp.
Just
That's it.
You have some fun.
Nothing else
Yeah,
other than that. I'm not going there.
Keep going.
No, no. If I hit someone the wrong way, unless they had bad intentions for me, if they don't have bad intentions for me, I'm helping them off the floor. I'm telling them, hey, look, this is what you did wrong, and this is why I got you.
Right.
And they look at me like, well, why are you telling me this?
Right.
I said, because I'm trying to help you as well as I'm helping myself. I'm just here to keep sharp, but you also have to learn what got you into the position that you got hit the way that you did.
And that's respect. I mean, that's and that's how your instructors hopefully taught you.
Oh, yeah.
Do not go in there with a cocky attitude
No.
like you're a big shot.
No.
Go in there like a friend.
Right.
And you'll make friends, and
Right.
you'll be so happy you did.
Yep.
People from all walks of life,
Yep.
and yet every walk of life you've seen in the tournaments, and
You always have students that go in there, and the other one that's competing with them is looking at them like, oh, I'm going to tear your head off. And I tell my students, I said, look them straight in the eye, and don't even let that flutter you.
No.
And at the end of the fight, I don't care if you win, lose, whatever,
You were
you
there.
go over there, shake his hand, and get his name,
Right.
and you let him know, good fight.
right.
Whether you win, lose, whatever comes, you say thank
That's
you,
right.
and I had a good fight.
And the thing is, too, the especially New England, Boston, whatever, the circuit is the same people almost every year, and you're all growing together. So that's how you really do make friends,
Right.
and because you fought them maybe once or twice, and whether they won one and you won one, or you. It's what school you're going to, blah, blah, blah. And I remember back in the day, all the grandmasters were really tight.
Oh, yeah.
All Korean karate. I mean,
Yep,
that's
yep.
kind of how we got really close,
Right,
because it was our grandmasters and our friends.
Your teacher taught, I remember he was teaching the referee courses.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I think I was 14. I think I was either 14 or 15.
Right.
I was in there with all the adults at the
Right,
time.
right.
I didn't meet Sid just yet. I met him after, probably like about 6 months after. And I was like one of the youngest people in there. I'm like, why am I learning this? And
Yeah.
so, but I had to learn it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they stuck together,
Right.
And one school would help another if you had a project,
Right,
That's how
exactly.
you made some
Right.
good money.
Of course.
You did.
I mean, Grandmaster Lee, he had one of the biggest tournaments going on in New England or the United States. More than there's my phone. Thank you. And I told you guys, if you want to shut your phones off, here you go. Yeah, so he had one of the biggest tournaments. You guys had supported Mike O'Malley,
Yes.
Mr. Kim, Master Kim, Grandmaster Kim,
Johnny Lee, all the
John Lee, all the names. You guys had, in the same, we'd walk in with about 10 people fighting. You guys would walk in with 10 people. And it's funny because I remember all the names. You know, Leroy,
Yeah.
Larry, and he said Sid. I said, oh, Sid, yeah. Because you and me were almost in this, we were very close to being the weight class.
Right. Right.
And I'm going, I don't know. I'm good with major right now, but I wasn't good with major. And I says, wow, one step is just as bad as the next. I mean, you had every weight class kind of
covered.
filled.
Yeah.
We also had comedian Joe Rogan
There you go. Yeah.
at our school.
Yeah, Joe
And-
Rogan. Who
and
would?
he mentioned, who knows that he blow up the way he is
Oh,
now.
my God,
and stuff, you know.
Yeah, he's all over the place
Oh,
too.
definitely.
Yeah, I ended up fighting him.
Yeah.
We won't even go there.
Oh, yeah, we won't.
Yeah. That's why me and Major, I wanted revenge after because he gave me a shot in the throat, kind of in a break, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're going, and that was it.
And I had
we-
to suffer for Joe.
Well, no, I says, and then he didn't show up the next year.
Was that Joe give you a shot in the throat?
We were going, and he just wasn't. When he started, he wasn't that great. Joe, I mean, he probably got better as he got, but he was younger, and I've already had 15 years in me of Taekwondo. So we were fighting, and
So that must have been when I was in the military. I think that's.
I think
when
you
it
was in the military
I was in
at
the
the time.
military when
Okay.
that happened
Yeah.
because Joe came in way after me.
okay,
So Joe was there. Yeah, he was under us altogether,
Right.
and we saw him when he first came in.
Right.
But so if you had to fight with him, then I was in the military at the time because I was always at the tournament.
He was at the military. at the
Yeah.
time.
okay, yeah, because I remember you would be here, not there, or you'd be there, not there,
Right.
and I'd say, well, why don't they keep Major home? Come on, I'm looking at the people, and I go, oh, there he comes.
And I've been saying the same thing. I look over, I saw, oh, damn, he's here today. Yes, he's here today.
Yeah, we had
But
some
I mean,
fun.
it was great because you knew you was going to have a match, and if you end up winning, whether you were first, second, or third place, you knew you earned that trophy.
You knew there was a
And
fight, yeah,
It was a fight.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't giving out no trophy or no one didn't show up.
Right.
you fought for that trophy.
Right. Nowadays, it's
place.
not that. It's,
No,
it's it's almost like I have to, when I go to the tournaments, I have to watch their bracketing. And I've had to tell them, look, wait a minute. You have 50 kids here. Why do you have these schools going against each other? It makes no sense.
Right.
You have enough kids so you can break it down. So each one of these kids is here, students. I don't want to say kids because they're adults too. Each one of these students should be able to fight someone new that's not in their school.
Right.
And that's what this is about. And when they look at me, they're like, "What do you mean? Well, why do you have two of the same Mr. Lee school, Mr. Lee school, Mr. Lee school, and they're all fighting each other? They already know who's going to win. But put Mr. Lee school now with a Gardner
Right.
and mix
Right.
them up so now they can earn what they have.
Right.
And I always tell my students, look, you're going to go out there and earn it. I'm not going to give you a favor. You're not going to take anything that's easy. If one of the kids, his name is Sean. I remember we were in Connecticut and everyone comes running to me. Hey, Sean's getting ready to fight. He's getting ready to fight. Mind you, he already had 6 fights.
Yeah.
But he's short.
Yeah.
And he's getting ready to fight. And the guy that he's fighting is almost the same size as me. And I said, I went over to Sean. Everyone's looking at me. Please don't let him fight that guy. That's what everyone's saying.
Yeah.
No, you can't make this happen. But the referee was going to do it.
Right.
Because I guess that was his friend, the big kid. So I said to him, hey, look, what do you want to do, Sean? Sean looks up at me. He said, what do you want me to do? Yeah. Mind you, this is a kid.
Yeah.
He's only 7 years old. And he says, what do you want me to do?
Right.
I said, you got this? He said, don't worry about this.
There
I
you
got
go.
this.
There you go.
He went in there and he clocked that
nice.
kid. He knocked him
Yeah,
down
yeah.
3 times. And everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
And it's heart.
Of course it is.
It's
Yeah.
all heart.
And he trained. He
Yes.
trained hard.
And
Yeah,
he trained hard.
He trained hard. And
Yeah,
yeah. And like I said, muscle memory at the show. We did.
Yep.
We just did a show about a half hour ago, so I might bring some stuff up. But muscle memory is a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
Being in shape, muscle memory, going with the flow, and just constant training. You can't do it without constant
No.
training.
Right. You have to train. I remember when we was training, every weekend, it was like we'd rather be at a tournament than going to
Yeah.
training because we knew amongst ourselves with the competition, we're like, oh,
Yeah.
God, I got to go spar with Sid. He hits
Yeah.
hard. And,
Yeah.
okay, this is going to be rock'em sock'em. So I know I'm going to leave with some bruises or something or a sleeve. Or
Every
we got,
time.
Yeah, or we got Larry, his long legs.
Yeah.
One story, quick story. I think it was me, Larry, and Sid. So John Lee showed up, and Mr. O'Malley looked at us and said, yo, you're going to spar with John. So me and Sid looked at each other, and we looked at Larry, so we stepped back. We be like, if anyone has a chance, you do. You're taller than us.
Exactly.
If anyone has a chance, at least you could kind
Yeah.
of slow him down for us.
Right.
Yeah.
Mind you, all 3 of us had to spar him that
Yeah.
day.
You.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I remember Larry, he says, what should I do? I said, if you can run for 2 minutes,
There you go.
run. I said, that's all you got to do.
Get him
Just-
tired. Get him
Just
tired.
get him tired, right? I said that would be my strategy, and sure enough, that was all 3 of our strategy.
keep
Oh, yeah.
going.
Wasn't like we were going to attack him because we knew we were like, man, we
You couldn't go toe to toe with him.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you tried to go toe to toe, me and Major would be standing on the side with your obituary.
Yeah,
I remember a tournament, and he fought. John Lee was fighting some kid from Michigan for the championship, and John and this kid was good too. Right, this kid was known for and I remember John was winning 3rd round, almost over. Bang, broke his toe. And when I say broke his toe, it was flapping. He's trying to throw it, and he's trying to stand on it, and his body. And he sat down, and Mike O'Malley goes over to him, and he goes, Mike, my toe, look at it. And it's flopping. Mike says, shut up. Got some tape. He goes, in 30 seconds, you win this fight. You win the thing. You win the nationals, or you whatever it was. I forget the tournament. Right. He went out there with this toe flapping. And I mean, it was broken right. Beat the kid. And I'm like, oh, I'll never forget that. Because he was ready to, he was like, Mike, my foot hurts. Mike, I think Mike wanted to slap him. Shut up.
Well, that's what me and Mage said. It was better. When we go to competition,
it's
Mr.
not
O'Malley,
like that.
oh, no,
Yeah.
man. He was like, go on out there.
Yeah.
Go on out
Go
there.
on out
And I don't get upset because what he taught me is what I teach my students. And it's basically, if you're in the street, something happens to you, what are you going to do? Oh, I cut myself. I twisted my ankle. Please don't rob me. Please don't beat me up.
I gotta
I'm
go
going to
get my
stop. I'm going
gear.
to take a time out.
Yeah.
Please just stop. No, you got to think like if you were out in the street, you got to fight. and you got to finish whatever you do.
That's
if
right.
you begin something, finish it, and that's what I
Right
always
through the
tell them:
pain.
finish it.
Right through the pain.
And it's, the thing is, too, think about it, though, and you wonder why some people don't. But we used to train. The only way we could get wherever we wanted to get, you had to train like maniacs.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Every day.
Yep.
But a lot of people don't. And if they don't, they can't understand your vibe because they know they're going to get tired. They're not going to, but they weren't training the way. I mean, maybe we were excessive. Maybe we were obsessed. I know.
I was.
Well,
I
it's
was
not.
very
It's,
obsessed.
it's not as much as obsessed as focused.
Yeah.
As focused. We were focused, and we were focused in the fact that we wanted to hone our skills to the point whereas we know that when we throw something, it's going to be something that's going to happen.
Gonna go through.
That what it is nowadays is the parents and even the adults that come in, when they come in and you teach them, they don't want to be pushed. They don't want you to say, okay, well, if I don't do this, I got 50 push-ups. I'm not doing those push-ups. No. Okay, if you're not going to do the push-ups, you can leave.
Yeah.
Okay? How many people?
You're old school.
Yeah.
That's old school.
It's as simple as that.
They don't do that anymore now.
And then my students say to me, well, why do we have to do all these push-ups? Then I show them why.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a situation where you have to do self-defense, you need to push someone off. Guess what? Your chest muscles are already developed,
ready.
so you can push them across the floor. I had an adult. Her name was Valerie, and she's one of my black belts now. But she started out, she couldn't do not one push-up, even on her knee. By the time she got to her black belt, she was doing 50, 60 push-ups. And you can, to this date, you cannot, and she's about 5'1", 5'2". To this date, if you try to touch her, she will get away from you.
Nice.
And she will chop you in the stomach. She will
Yeah,
chop
nice.
you in the throat. She's just quick. And I say this because it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're focused and you want to learn, then you learn. Don't sit here and try and tell the instructor,
Right.
okay, well, I don't feel like doing this. Okay, well, don't feel like doing it.
Right.
Don't do it.
That's right.
At the end of the day, you're going to be the 1% that gets yourself into trouble.
That's right. And you're working, you work out maybe before school and before work.
Yep.
You work out, you run or whatever. Then after work or school, you're exhausted. The last thing you want to do is, but you go. I remember going to the gym after work, going to school, then working after school.
Yes.
Then I'd go to Mr. Lee's late class. And I remember driving to Lawrence, which was a half-hour ride. Now you're mellowing out. And I remember hitting the lights going, I know I can take a nap right here. That's before working out.
Right, right.
Take his class, drive home saying, I feel great.
Yep.
Now you gained everything back.
Right.
Right. It's just I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to do it. And especially if you want to do well, you don't have to go to tournaments, but you want to do well.
Do it right.
You want to know the martial arts,
Yep.
and it's as you say. I see a lot of the tournament action today. I don't watch it like I used to, but it's like they're going for the points. It's just something different that we went through.
Well, it's all about the score right now.
Like one or two techniques,
Right,
maybe one or
right,
two if
right.
you're lucky.
It's WTF and then there's ITF. ITF, they use gloves, hands, and whatever.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. WTF, they're using mostly the chest protectors with the
Electronic.
electronic timer
Okay.
on it.
All right, yeah,
so
yeah.
they're only doing that. But with what I do mostly is ITF, and most of my students, I have two world champions under my belt, not from me, but for
Right.
my students.
Right.
I've done mostly state championships and stuff like that. But these guys, one of the guys, his name is Aziz Abdallah. I just want to give out
give a shout out, sure.
I give out a shout out to him and
not?
also to George. He's also a world champion in ITF.
There you go.
And also my associate who's a seventh dan, and his name is Louis McDougall, and he's been a great help with all that we
Right.
do. So all these guys, you would think, okay, well, these guys, all they do is they get in the gym all the time. They're in the gym. These guys are geeks. These guys are big time geeks. I'm telling you. Aziz just got his doctorate 4 years ago
Yeah.
at MIT. He's a straight geek.
Yeah.
When he came with me, he said, "Oh, Mr. Gardner," he says, I won't be able to, go to the world championships, for another 4 years." I said, "Why not?" He says, "Well, I'm not really ready for it." I said, "Just give just be quiet and do what I tell you to do.
So, yeah.
That year, he went to the World Championship and took second place.
Wow. There
The
you
next
go.
year after that, he took World Championship.
Nice.
Then after that, he took the Pan Am Games.
Yeah.
Okay, and then George was training with me. George, he got the World Championships as well. And I'm just like different weight classes, but these guys train 7 days a week. You understand what I'm saying?
Got to.
And they would say, okay, Mr. Gardner, okay, so we're going to do this. All I have to do is, this is where we're going to train. And they would always show up. Yep. We're here. We're going to train for about an hour or two, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to train. That's it.
Yep.
You know?
Rounds after
Yeah,
round.
exactly.
Round after round.
But are most people doing that nowadays? No. Most of them are, oh, you want me to do what? You want, we're going to go an hour? Why an hour? Are you okay? I can't take this. My anxiety. Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah, you're so old school.
Yeah, very old school, very old school. But he gets results. Results. I seen his kids go to tournament.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And when
That's
I first
old
met
school,
them,
yeah.
and I was watching, I was like, "Oh my God, man!" I said, "You're teaching just like the way we came up."
Yeah.
Because I remember even when we came up, I remember after a night of when we were younger, we used to go to the clubs and everything. And then me, Larry, Leroy, we used to go say, "Hey, we had the keys to J. Kim." We used to go up and train.
Go
Right,
train.
be
Oh,
about
yeah.
2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd be there for about an hour or so.
Yep.
Train. And then later on that day, when they open up, we come back and train again.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, but that was us back then. We had a passion for it.
Yep.
That was well. So you guys kept fighting. I think at 35, I retired after, and you know, as I say, I didn't see Sid for 40 years.
Right.
You were like 35 years because
35
we've
years, right.
seen each other
Right,
back.
right.
But those years went by fast.
They did.
And think of and I think of because we got the school in Pelham, and of the thousands of people that go through your school. I mean, over the years,
Right.
and now some people see you in the store, Master Lemire. I go, hey, how you doing? They're 35.
Exactly.
I had them when they were 5 or 7.
Yes.
Do I know
and you
you?
see them, and they have their kids.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they're like, oh, are you still teaching? Yeah,
right. Yeah,
I'm still teaching.
Oh, yeah.
I had that happen to me. I was telling Maisie, I said, hey, I have students that first started with me when I was in 2000. And I see them now, and they have their kids who are 13. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And one kid, he showed up to me. He said, hey, Mr. Gardner. I was like, do I know you?
Yeah.
And it was in Stop and Shop. He said, do I know you? He said, yeah, it's me, Sean. What?
It's me.
I had to go give him a hug. 'Cause he's like this.
Oh, no.
But then I saw him with 4 kids. Those are your kids?
Hey, you
He said,
kids.
yeah, those are. I said, wow.
Then
Shows
you-
your age.
How old am I? How
Yeah,
old did I
exactly,
get?
exactly.
Do you get to see a lot of the other guys? Like I mean, you had every weight class.
I see a few of the guys.
I see them at the tournaments.
You do see
I
them.
still see some that are teaching.
Yeah.
They're teaching. They're not competing.
Right.
And I see them because we didn't just. Our school doesn't. It's a small school.
Right.
But we don't just do state.
Right.
So when as soon as I tell the parents or the adult, I tell them, look, we're going to compete, but this is how we compete. We compete from here down the eastern coast, and we also go to Colorado.
Yeah.
We go to Canada. We go to all these places. If we need to go to Puerto Rico, we go to Puerto Rico. But the thing is that we don't stay in one spot. And I want you guys to know, and also some of these kids are inner city kids.
Right.
If you never take them out the
Right.
city, the only thing that they know is the city, so they don't know that another world. So when we take them to New York, we take them to North Carolina, we take them to Florida, take them to Colorado, and they see all these places. I said to parents, look, this is your vacation.
Yeah.
When you go out, don't take it as, oh, we're going to go to a competition and we're going to leave and come back.
Right.
No, we enjoy it, and you enjoy it as a family. And when you enjoy this as a family, the child will enjoy it. You will enjoy it.
Right.
You know, and they love it.
Yeah.
And that's how we do it. Yeah.
That's how we used to do it. Every time we was traveling to California, Chicago, New York,
Ohio.
I mean, we travel and then we look around. You know, 'cause we never been no. I remember we went to Florida and we like, any of us ever been to Disneyland or Disney World?
Right.
No. Well, we went and we
Yeah.
was acting like we were children
Little
and
kids.
stuff. You know, we still have the pictures
Yeah.
from the time when we went.
Yeah, it's it's funny now. The tournaments now, because I haven't gone to one of those tournaments many years. I remember they'd want us there 7 o'clock in the morning, and I remember fighting at 3 o'clock the next morning.
Well, I tell you one thing, they still want you there at 7 o'clock in the morning,
Right,
but you don't stay there till 11. Still
oh.
till 3. They don't do that
3 in
anymore.
the morning.
Yeah.
And this is national.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
In Ohio.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm
Right,
like,
right.
my wife's crying in the stands because she's been there all day. And I'm
Yeah.
going, I know you're crying and you're tired, but I got to go fight this guy over here.
Exactly. I remember we were in Madison Square Garden, and we had to do the fights at the center ring because once you
Right.
won all your fights, now there's the fight, the main match, which
fight,
is going to
yeah.
be the center ring,
Right.
and you don't finish. You didn't get out of there till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Not
You got on
nowadays.
The same uniform. you're
And
smelling, you're
you
hungry.
really can't eat
No.
too much during the day.
Nope.
If you do, because you don't know when you're going next.
Yep.
Right.
And you don't want to fight on a full stomach.
No.
So you drink. By the end of the day, you're tired and weak.
Yep.
Right.
And I'm saying this is not how it should be.
Yeah.
Because boxing never had that for the Olympics. You got us time. You fought at that time, and you were done that day.
Right.
That
Right.
day.
But you never knew when you were going to fight.
No.
Mm-mm.
Do they? How is it now? Is it
It's still the same.
Still the same.
Still the same.
But they don't go till 3 in the morning. What they?
No,
stop
they
at
don't go
11?
till 3 in the morning. They start. I think the latest I've been to was they finished at maybe about 11.
Okay.
The latest is about 11.
It's still
Yeah.
7
Yeah.
in the morning till 11
Yeah.
at night.
But
11, I know.
but I'm going to give you this. Usually the one that ends at around 11 is Master Suarez's school in Queens, New York.
Yeah.
We always get good competition from them, and he throws a very good tournament.
Yeah.
Most of his kids go to the Worlds and stuff like that, but he throws a good. And I always take the kids. I say, "Look, kids, we're going to go to New York," and I tell the parents, "We're going to go to New York. The kids are going to compete. Every student here is going to compete, either adults or whatever. You're going to compete there." And they're like, "Wait a minute. So you have Massachusetts competition, then you have New York competition. Massachusetts competition is like you pouring a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Going to New York is like you getting a shot of cocaine or whatever it is, because you're just like, wow, what the? It's just crazy.
Right,
The competition
yeah.
that is there is just really good, because those are kids coming from boroughs that are just fighting and fighting and fighting, and you're just like, wait a minute, it's night and day.
Right.
Right.
You know,
The best
And-
competition, remember a friend of ours named Joe Diggs, he used to tell us that the best competition, if you can deal in New York, you can deal anywhere. Because
Exactly.
New York had great competition,
Yep.
whether you're fighting in Madison Square Gardens or you're fighting in Brooklyn or Queens or the Bronx. You just had major competition all over there, and it just made you much better.
I fought once in New York. We went down there with Grandmaster, just a small bunch of me, Grandmaster Pelletier.
Yes.
And we went down there, and all I remember is this small little gym that we got into. I used to follow my instructor. We got into this small, so I'm fighting. All of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but there were thousands of people around the ring, like they didn't give you room.
No.
And I remember people getting kicked going into the crowd and fights starting in the crowd.
yes.
I'm going,
Yeah.
where are we?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is ridiculous. Yeah, big fight starting in the crowd.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is Massachusetts and New England, a little more calm back.
Right,
A
yeah,
little
yeah,
more calm,
yeah.
We try to make it so that you want to come back, and you're not going to get knifed in the middle of your
Right. Because you didn't know who you were. Like, man, 'cause, I mean, they had the crowd behind them in New York.
Oh no,
They
yeah.
really had the
Oh
crowd
no, yeah.
behind
And
them.
they knew you were from Boston.
Boston
Yep.
and stuff, so there was that rivalry.
Yankees
there.
and the-
Yankees
yeah,
and
yeah.
the Red
Shit,
Sox.
that's funny,
You know,
yeah.
the Knicks and the Celtics.
You brought your life into you're walking there with your life.
Yes.
Major would always say to me, he'd be like, "Why'd you do that?" And here's what he's talking about. Why you got a Boston shirt on? Why you got a Boston
Yeah,
shirt?
yeah, on the Boston shirt. I'm like, you really have to
Boston
let
right
them know
across,
that
Red
we're-
Sox.
You have to let them
Or
know
a
that
hat.
we're from Boston. Don't let them know where we're from, man.
No, you got to wear to New York.
yeah, make like we just blend in.
Blend in, yeah.
I was like, no. Major always say, "You always got to start something." I said, "Look, well, I didn't do nothing, but you got the Boston hat on.
Yeah, yeah.
Why?"
Well, yeah, it's funny because even in tournaments, like as I say, we'd all be in the tournament, and if we got there before you guys or after you guys, either way, I'd look, I go, oh, Christ, here we go. This is what we're going to deal with these guys. But I remember always going over, maybe kind of hanging a little with you guys,
Right.
talking, and all my guys. I don't know if you ever fought any of our guys at all.
If they were in the welterweight division, I did.
I can't. It would be Manny Feliciano, but maybe he was heavyweight, and he was fighting.
I remember
He would have
Manny
fought
was a little-
either Larry or
I think Manny was
Leroy.
heavyweight. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he fought
Manny
either
was-
Manny or he fought either Leroy or Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
I
had
remember
some,
Manny.
They had
yeah,
some good ones.
they had some
going,
good battles.
Because I remember Mike coming over and he goes, put a handle on your guy because he had a mouth. And I go, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. You know, because he was
Right, I remember Manny. I remember.
Yeah. He if he was losing, he'd get mad and he'd start saying stuff. If a lot of people do.
I know. Oh, yeah.
Especially if you have a ref who's maybe arrogant or something, or who knows, or somebody you're fighting, you're not happy with their, Sometimes people like to throw a little.
I still have one picture. Bob Jacobs refereeing one of my fights, and he's raising my arm up. And I remember Bob. I said, "Oh, here we go." I'm like, "I hope he's not mad." But he was a great referee. Great referee, man. And he always say something to me, right, just to try to get me to laugh and everything. And I'd be
He's
like,
a good guy. Yeah,
not gonna laugh. And I'd be like, okay, here we go. I said, but I know, great referee.
The funny thing is, he was on this show probably about 8 months ago. Your name come up. Yeah. Maybe all is. Because I think I was talking to him because we would do the referee circuit for the longest time for Mr. Lee. Mm-hmm. I really didn't like refereeing. I'd rather fight, but refereeing was totally different. Right. But he needed the help with his tournaments. Mm-hmm. He had these big tournaments, and it's hard to get good referees, or a lot of them.
Yeah, it is.
So, but we were talking about the whole. He goes, "Oh yeah, I remember all of them." And he started mentioning because you guys had the same guys,
right?
Same 5-6 guys over and over, yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned Bob.
Oh yeah!
Shout out to Bob.
Shout out to Bob, man. I'm Gary too. Gary Pelletier. Yep. And he's still what? I watched some of your videos and I seen him on.
Yeah, he's 74 years old.
Yeah, 74. Wow. He's moving well.
Still teaching at the school. We do. He had a little hip thing and a little leg thing, but he's getting over that now.
Right.
But for 74,
right.
74.
God bless him.
And you look at us and you say, hey, look. People say, why are you still doing that? You don't seem to understand what it is. It's a passion. Yeah. And with that passion, you keep a certain type of youth. Because people look and they say, you're what, how old?
Right.
I said, yeah, that's how old I am.
Right.
I had one of my students at MIT, he said to me, oh, I'm 54 and
I know.
I'm taking my time. I said, you know what? When I get to your age, I certainly hope I can be like you. Yeah. And then I tell him, I said, I'm 58. Right?
Yeah,
he's
right.
like, what?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, it's funny because I still work 3 days a week, and I'll walk around, and I'm ready to retire full time, but I don't. But I'm walking around and I see these kids. Not all kids. Some kids are still in good shape. But I see kids in their 30s and their 20s, and I'm like, you better get it together. Because if you're sluggish and moving around like that now, 20 years from now, that's it. People wonder why they die young.
Yep. Right.
And they don't realize their heart's a muscle and their whole body's a muscle. And if you don't keep that thing going, it's going to just say bye.
Bye. See you later.
Well, you got this is the generation. This is the generation of the video kids.
Oh my God!
Video on YouTube, and they're on the YouTube.
Yeah.
They don't want to do any physical activity. Oh, my physical activities. I'm on the glasses. What do you call it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Virtual reality.
Virtual reality glasses. Yes. That's the way you get the exercise. Or it's like. You guys don't know anything about regular, going outside, running outside, playing tag. You don't know anything about that. You're all introverts.
Always outside. We were always outside.
That's all you did.
Yeah, you was outside. You played baseball, basketball, football, hockey. You did something.
One after another, too. Yeah. But when you were done playing baseball, you went and played some football right after. Then you went and played soccer. You did something.
Yeah. Even played tag and you're running. You're not realizing that it's all
you're
exercising.
outside. Yeah, these phones I'm watching. And the younger generation, and I'm talking 6 and 5, and they're like that. And I'm like, all right, that's fine for half hour.
Right.
Maybe a half hour a day, maybe, or an hour. But don't just let the kid do that over.
No.
They're addicted.
Right. My nephew, he has 2 sons, and they're on their iPads or their phone, but he makes them exercise. Like
you
in the
have
morning,
to.
Before they get on any type of video game or thing, the schoolwork has to be done. They have to do some type of form of exercise. Right. Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this? Before they do anything, get on those computers or anything or PlayStation, they have to do a certain amount of exercise. And then usually in the morning, I did this, I did that. Okay.
Well, that's good. They have to have a routine.
Right, they have a routine.
And that's what we did. You had a routine.
Yeah.
Your routine, and if you broke that, how about when you couldn't work out because you were really hurt or you had the flu? And you're going.
It's tough.
It's tough. 2 or 3 days you'd go. 2 or 3 days you'd go, oh, I'm a mess. I bet you I can't even fight anyway. Because it's all in here.
Right.
You didn't train for 3 days or 2 days.
Well, I'm telling you, it's funny you said that because I tore both of my Achilles.
Oh,
And
that-
each time I tore the Achilles, one was I was playing basketball. It was stupid.
yeah, basketball is tough.
Yeah,
It'll do it.
and then I did. And then the other one was I was teaching, and I went and did a front kick, but I didn't fully warm up.
Right.
So as you get older, you have to warm up even more. So I hit with a front kick, and all you heard in the whole gym was
Could hear it.
pop. And then I walked away, and I'm like, this happened. Then went to the hospital, found out, hey, I tore the Achilles. What did that say to me? The doctor said, oh, well, you won't be doing any more Taekwondo for the rest of your life. You're done.
Yeah.
Because I said, okay,
Yeah, you don't know.
you're going to tell me that I can't?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm right now, everyone's like, how'd you kick so high? I said, because I train.
That's
I don't listen to any doctor. You know, I train, and I have common sense, and I can read, too, so I can see what I can and can't do.
That's right. Well, and you know what? In defense of the doctor, a normal person probably wouldn't.
Exactly.
But you
right.
were above. Yeah, believe me.
Yeah.
You know you were the elite.
Yeah.
So when your body is that toned, and you know how to keep yourself in good shape.
Yes.
You know how to keep your muscles. If something bothers you, you know how to try to fix it, or you learn. That's one thing I like about the phone. You can Google anything that you
Yep.
need to know about yourself. Now I'm really getting into the acupressure, where I never was that much, and boy, does that help. The acupressure right here in your arm
does.
helps my knee. On this arm
Yes.
helps, and it's like the pain's gone.
Right.
I mean, so that's one good thing about these things.
Yeah, it does help you with the knowledge.
The knowledge,
Yes.
very quickly, where you'd
Because
have to,
before, you'd have to just listen to what the doctor said, and that was it.
No.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah. I'll never do
all
it
right,
again.
I'll never do that again.
Yep. Right.
How old were you when you did that?
Oh, jeez. When I first did it, I was
'Cause that's
25.
That's a tough
Yeah,
injury.
at 25. And then again, I did it at 34.
Yeah, both
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah.
Well, and rehab. What did you do for rehab? Because that's an injury that certain people can't ever get away from.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing is you have to also know your diet.
Okay.
If you don't know if you don't know your diet, that's where it hurts. Because I later found out that you remember this fad where they were saying, "Oh,
yeah.
you should eat all this fiber and all this.
Yeah, yeah.
Wheat is this, wheat is that." But when you dig into it, wheat is an inflammatory, and
It's the worst. It's
it's the worst. And if you look at the ingredients on a lot of things that we take, it has wheat in it. So you have to now say to yourself, well, I can't eat that. I'm not eating that.
Sugar.
I'm not eating that. You know, sugar is not good. But once I started to find out what was wrong with what I was doing,
Yeah.
I then learned things that also would give me calcium. And it wasn't pills, just going straight and going to vegetables and
Right.
certain things you eat.
Right.
To give you the calcium, not as see people try to say, okay, well, get the tablets, the calcium tablets,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
this. Why doesn't the vegetables have it?
Right.
Organic vegetables, not the regular vegetables that's in.
See, that's you're
There's
talking like a
big
true,
difference.
like a doctor, right?
Well,
there. You're talking
like
a
I said,
doctor.
I had got the
You
knowledge,
have
and
to
once I realized that, now I saw the flexibility in my Achilles, my joints. So now I stretch more. I stretched before, but now I even stretch even more, and I let my body heal. When you were younger, you didn't have to worry about it. You bounce back quick. But as you get older,
Right.
your body doesn't take in as much calcium.
Oh,
So
yeah. No, not at
so what you would I used to drink gallons of milk when I was a teenager.
Because they told you it was good for
Right.
you.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when you're younger, it is.
Oh,
but
probably,
as you
yeah,
get
with
older,
calcium, yeah, you
those
can't.
same gallons of milk that you're drinking, you now have to drink. If it was 2 gallons, now you have to drink 6 gallons in order to get the same amount.
Right. Yeah. And then they're injecting the cows and everything. With
Oh,
the
yeah.
milk. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Everything, yeah.
You're not getting the
And I
same.
was a milk drinker when I was
Yeah.
younger, and I haven't had a glass of milk probably in about 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
I haven't had it.
I haven't had milk in over maybe 30 years because
same way.
the best source of calcium, if you're going to do milks, is coconut milk.
Coconut, right? Yeah.
You know,
There you go. Yep.
And don't even start, man.
Anything with coconut.
They
What?
say that.
With the coconut?
No, yeah, coconut. Because I knew you were going to say, oh, yeah.
Knew you were gonna mention that.
You figured you'd say coconut, you Jamaican. But I'm not. But it is the best source. I used to drink. What was it? I used to drink Gatorade and use Powerade. We'd always go to the gym,
Right.
drink that.
Oh, yeah,
Then,
yeah.
like I said, with the knowledge of the phone, it told me that actually that has a lot of sucrose, and it's not good for you. Powerade's not good for you, and Gatorade's not good for you. And they said the best source of electrolytes when you're working out is 100% coconut water. Yep. And I say 100% coconut water because there's a whole bunch of coconut waters that's out there.
Right.
But if it doesn't say 100% coconut water, then it's not coconut water. So when you read that ingredients, it shouldn't say nothing else except coconut water. Right. Yep. And you look at those out there, you pay $7 for it, and you find out it's got this, it's got that, it's got this. Right. And I go pay for another coconut water that's $3, and it says 100%.
Right.
So price and fancy name,
right.
Don't look at that. No. Look at what the ingredient is.
And that's the thing. That's what's one thing about the phone is if you do your research and you don't have to go to the library. Or
right.
You don't have to
exactly.
You're right here in 3 seconds. Google, boom, 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 and you're going to get a lot of opinions.
Yeah.
They're not always right.
Right.
But you can do your own homework.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Your own research.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do. I have the coconut water. Particularly, I do Tai Chi now. And when you're talking about the acupressure, that's a lot of stuff that I'm learning while I'm doing the Tai Chi. And that the teacher shows us. But I bring coconut water, and I can tell the difference.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I remember I used to drink the Gatorade and the Powerade. I stopped that. I haven't had Gatorade for about almost maybe 10, 12 years now.
Yep.
All I drink is coconut water.
Right.
Or I just have regular water.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Because they say, and even like little regular water like that, for your electrolytes, put a little pinch of salt. That's what I just heard recently.
Right.
And I go, really? And there's the way the electrolytes with the salt will go with you. And it's a whole scientific thing.
Yep.
But I never knew that because, you think you don't want too much salt in your body. But a little pinch in the water will give you some electrolytes.
Yep.
Yes.
So there's a lot of way to get that electrolyte. Because people don't realize, especially when we trained back in the day, we would train back in the day, and it was so old school that you drink when he told you could drink.
Right, exactly.
Right.
No matter how hot it was outside and how much you were sweating, and you couldn't have a drink. Things have changed.
Yeah.
Yes,
Over-
yeah. So if you need a drink, go ahead and take it. You know.
Yeah, well, of course.
Take a
Or
drink,
your organs are going to fry on you.
Right.
You know? But back in the day, I remember, okay, Grandmaster Lee, we're dying.
Right.
Okay, you can have a drink, but okay. But that's a lot of old school.
Old school.
And that's how they were taught to toughen up.
Yep.
Now, whether it worked, I don't think that is. I think he changes
Well,
his tune over the years.
in what you just said with the water, like my kids, when they started, I have the kids. Even like I said, I keep saying kids, but I have adults as well. And the adults, they're trained and would do one round. Oh, can I get some water? For what?
Right.
For what? Wait, you didn't do anything. You haven't even broken a sweat. What are you talking about? You need some water. Oh, I want to get no. You wait again. So they go 2 rounds, 3 rounds. Then they're like, oh, okay, go get some water.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Go get some water. But if you just did a couple of moves and you're talking about, oh, can I get no? You're gonna be sitting there and you're gonna keep getting water, keep getting water, keep getting water. Next thing you know, you're gonna be, oh, can I go to the bathroom?
You get waterlogged. You get waterlogged.
Exactly.
And see, like, oh man, I need
Exactly.
to go to the bathroom.
It's funny though. Years ago, when we were kids, I mean, I got you guys only by a couple of years, but there wasn't even any bottled water.
No, you didn't have to pay for water.
No, you didn't have to pay.
No,
for
that was
it.
You never thought about that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But you were drinking the city water,
Yeah.
which tastes like you pulled it right out of the sewer.
Right.
No.
I never drank it.
Here's the thing. How long you lived in Drake?
Well, no, I lived in Lowell.
In Lowell. See, Lowell.
Chlorinated.
Lowell and Drake and a lot of those towns around, they tasted like that. But the Boston water was always the best. Remember
Really?
the woman I told you? She worked for the Department of Environmental Protection.
Right.
The best water was the Boston water.
And
It was
the reservoir.
The reservoir is still even better than this,
Yeah.
than the bottled water.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
still the best water. If you
Is it?
from tap, it would come straight out of it. It was the best water because it was filtered. And it was the best water. And we used to drink that. We never thought when we were coming up,
No,
you'd have to
no.
pay for
Pay
water.
because I mean we drink the water and maybe our system was just used to it and immune to it and everything.
Right.
Now,
There's a guy that said, hey, look, at some point, I think it was in Orwell's book, Animal Farm or whatever it is. But
Yeah.
you would Animal Farm.
Yeah.
You would be paying for air.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean paying for air? You are paying for air.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you are paying for air. What are you talking about? And we're sitting here paying how many? $7, $10, it depending on what the name of the
Gallon
water is.
grabbing water.
For water.
Yeah.
Never thought of that.
When I was a kid, all right, I loved coffee. They let me drink coffee. I would drink coffee, And then I couldn't drink the water. I'm a little kid. The water was terrible in Lowell.
Yeah.
They chlorinated it, and it was warm, and it was the pipes were probably rusty. I
Right.
don't know.
Right.
So I would drink coffee, Coca-Cola. Mm-hmm. All right, and that was it. My whole diet. I'm talking for years until I was in my teens, until I realized, what am I doing to myself? So the sugar that was in my body, because your coffee, you had to put 1,000 sugars,
Right.
And Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
My mother would buy cases of Coca-Cola. And I loved it. Give me more
Right,
Coke.
right. More
You're
Coca-Cola.
addicted.
Yeah.
So how I survived, and everyone was doing the same thing. No one would drink the Lowell water. But when I went to drink it back in the day, all right, because I started dating my wife, I said, this coffee is unbelievable. It was the water that tastes much better. Right. Drake had a whole different system than Lowell.
Right.
Like a
Lowell had heavy water.
Oh,
That's what it was. It was that heavy water that they had.
dirty, and it was a lot of it would come right out of the.
Yeah. But you see, in Lowell, they have a lot of storms. So you have a lot of pipes that would break as well, and they have a lot of old pipes, and the sediment would go right in there. So that's what you were tasting.
No water came from the Childs, right?
Huh?
The Childs.
Oh no, that sounds bad.
Oh, what's that song they used to
no.
sing? Love that dirty
No.
water.
Exactly. That water's still dirty.
It's still dirty.
Like I say, when I come back from Beth Israel, if my wife has to go, and I go down Star Road Drive, and I look over and I see these beautiful sailboats, thousands of them. I'm going, Di, I hope they don't tip over, because if they get a mouthful of that,
I know.
I hope they enjoy living, because that's
Oh, man, you don't know what's in that
It got better though, didn't it?
They started cleaning up. What?
You have to
Not
clean
too-
it up.
Oh, they did. They
What,
started
didn't
cleaning.
Yeah.
Didn't they clean up not too long ago? Or
Yeah.
something? They had
Yeah.
like some type of machine.
Supposedly salmon were coming back up the river. Well, I don't know if that's still.
I don't know about
I don't
that,
know
but
about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
they did clean up the water.
Unless we seen one floating and they say, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
a salmon." He's just on the side.
Well, they just say if salmon can live through it, then the water's fairly clean enough. But when you see the fishes going like this, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, okay,
yeah. Boy, that's so fun. Yeah, because you got the reservoir up there.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had there's this reservoir in Brighton. There's another one in
Yeah.
Brookline. They have the what's it, Quabbin?
The Quabbin.
Yeah. So
And that water's good. You like all that water. I mean, I just don't know. I've never.
the tap water is
good.
Is good.
Yeah.
If you run out of water and you just say, "Hey, look,
I'll get some tap water.
I get some tap water."
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
I mean, my sister she'll drink the tap water, but she'll boil it first.
Right.
Just on the safe
My
side.
wife
but-
bought this big. It's a big container, and you put the water on the top. It's 2 levels, and it's got filters.
Right.
So you take your tap water, and you can drink the tap water, but you're putting it through this just in case.
Right.
And it filters. Now you got about 3 gallons of
gallons of
water.
water, right.
That's been filtered through filters you buy once a month or something.
right.
And that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty good. I still have a hard time drinking tap water. I just because
Me
you know what
too.
happens.
Me too.
I'll tell you what happens. They'll clean, especially in Drake it. They'll clean the fire hydrants, or a pipe will break. That water's brown for a week.
Yeah, of course.
Brown. You take a shower and you're like, "Are you
Yep.
kidding me?"
Yep.
And I even got my shower. I got filters in that too.
Right.
But so you're gonna. When does that go away? Or am I not seeing the brown? Or
Right.
Well, see, when they do that, you gotta also remember to when that comes through, you have to remember to take all of your tops of the faucets, take them out, drop them in
You gotta clean them,
in water that has what do you call it?
Baking soda or
baking soda.
vinegar and baking soda. Yeah.
Vinegar and baking soda. Put it inside there. Let it sit for a while. That
Right.
cleans it out.
Yeah.
And then you can put it back on there. But if you just don't change that, you're still going to continue to get those sediments.
I'm a bit of a germophobic, and I got a feeling you guys are too. I don't know.
Yeah,
Because as I'm saying baking soda and vinegar,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because you want clean stuff going in your body.
Of course.
Fruits and vegetables, I will not touch one unless I wash it.
Oh, I have to wash
Especially-
it off.
especially-
You ever watch,
If I go
you
to
ever watch
Stop and
those people
Shop
in the
or-
store?
Yeah.
And they're like, they're
no.
eating
With
right
the
off.
grapes, yeah, with the grape, it's like I don't even want to buy a bag of grapes. So I usually buy them when they're in the container because I said unless they open up the container,
I'll wash them. I don't
But
care.
I'll wash
Hot
it.
water and
Yeah,
baking soda.
I'll wash it off. I'm like, oh no.
Because you don't know who's touching your food out
No.
there. If it's wide open, and they're coughing, and
Yep.
I mean, and little kids are coming by. Nobody's clean.
No.
Nobody cares. So if you grab a tomato that 5 people have already looked at, bring it home and not wash it and eat it, good luck, buddy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're asking for sickness or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's people say, oh, you're a germophobic or what? No, it ain't going in my mouth.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You know, exactly. I'd
And-
rather
but
wash
you're
it
the
off
same
than
worst. You're the same person that looks at them and says, "Well, when's the last time you had a cold?"
Oh, that's right.
You know.
Nothing.
Well, during COVID, I was like, "What?" I was like, no, I'm not getting a shot. I
Knock-
don't need all that
knock
stuff.
on
I'm
wood,
good.
knock
I
on
don't
wood.
need that. I don't
Yeah.
need that foolishness.
Yeah.
No, I had to take my vitamins and I clean everything that I had.
That's right. That's right. You make sure. So you that's caution right there.
Yes.
Yes.
Caution to the wind. And I watch people. Hey, look at. Oh yeah, I'll outlive you. Well, yeah, you'll be. Because you know what too. Also, when you were younger and we were training for the fights, and you're still doing. The last thing you want to do is get sick for 2 or 3 days. That threw you
Right.
off a month.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
As I say, 3 days is an eternity to a fighter.
Yep. Yep.
And so you'd say, I do whatever I can to stay healthy. I got it because I got to stay healthy.
Yeah, right.
And your body gets used to that over the years.
Yep.
Then you haven't been sick, and you're building up an immunity, and your body's getting stronger and stronger.
Right.
Because you do the vitamins. I take the
Yeah.
vitamins. I always took vitamins my whole life. Now I'm crushing them
Right.
because, and then I'm putting them in my water, or I'm putting and making sure it's dissolved because I'm reading a lot saying a lot of these vitamins, and I don't know which one will not dissolve going through
Yeah,
your body.
you're
Right,
correct.
right,
Because
yep,
it's
yep,
mostly
correct.
plastic and stuff like that. So when you think you're getting the full vitamin, you're not getting the full source of that
5%,
vitamin.
10%, 20%,
exactly.
maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's when they have to take like 2. They make you take 2. I'm like saying, well, you could take 1 if you just crush it. And
Crush it up a
You
little,
get the
yeah,
whole thing.
and dissolve it, and you don't have to drink it all at once.
Right.
No.
You let it drink it most of the day. Here, I'm taking more vitamins. I'm a stickler on that, and I'm a stickler on trying to get 8 hours more sleep. Anything to keep you healthy for the next day.
Right.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. Not saying disagree. You're right, but I don't.
No, you
me,
don't.
I'm always
how many
up.
hours?
People laugh at me. I go to bed at 2:30 in the morning and then get back up at 6.
And you can do it.
Yeah.
And very few people can do that.
Right.
A buddy of mine was the same way, 3 hours a night
Yeah.
for years.
But you are right. You are right
You
in regards to saying getting the rest.
especially if you're training
Right.
hard. If you're
Yeah.
training hard and
Yeah.
you're breaking
Yeah.
down, you got to get
It's
that.
just I have so many things that I have to do, and I try to get it done during the day. You know, so I just can't.
But if it works, it works
Yeah,
for you. I
yeah,
mean, you look
yeah.
good, you look young. But as I'm saying, this guy with 3 hours of sleep, he for years and years and years, and his sons would tell their little Vex, their father. You look at him today; he looks like he's 70 something. He looks like he's 45.
Right.
So it didn't age him, you know. And so you're right. Some people can get away with it.
Right.
I can't.
Right.
Maybe it's up in here. I want that REM 4 hours, and I'm not a good sleeper as it is. So maybe you toss and turn and you're bouncing around.
That's how it was when I retired from the sheriff's department, where I couldn't sleep at night. Then I started doing the Tai Chi, and I was able
Yeah.
to get like a good 8 hours
to
sleep.
relax. Yeah.
Just to relax myself.
Yeah.
Once I was able to get 8 hours sleep, I can shorten that to like 5 hours to 4 hours
Yeah.
sleep. And I woke up and I was fine.
Right.
And it's just like I was refreshed, I was energized and
Yep.
everything. Matter of fact, yesterday, during whether the Patriots game, a few football games I was watching, I was really tired.
Right.
Once I went home and I slept for about maybe 2 hours, I was up the rest of the night.
Yeah.
I was just up. I was just up, energized and everything.
You regenerate, yeah.
Yeah.
But and also again, that's being in shape.
Right.
When you're in shape, your body can do things that if you're not in shape, if your heart's not in shape, your lungs aren't in shape, your body's not in shape, then you're gonna be different.
Right.
Right.
Totally different than someone who's in constant shape their whole life.
Well, let me tell you something. Before Major retired from the from corrections office, before he put some weight on. I mean, Mage, when we came up, Mage was always like a stick.
135.
He was a stick.
We fought at 135.
He was a stick. And then then Mage was working for the correction department. Mage went up to 2 something,
Yeah.
and I was looking at it, I was like, Mage, what the hell happened to you? And I'm telling you, he said to me one time, and this was when I said, Mage, you can't eat like that.
Yeah.
You got to stop eating like that. He was at 240, and he was eating the Jamaican food, the starch and stuff like that. I said, Mage, where's there anything green on there? He said, you got to die sometime. When he,
Yeah.
I said, what? He said, you got to die somewhere. I'm going to eat my
Leave
stuff.
me alone.
So I said to him,
Leave me
Mage,
alone.
look, if you're going to, I'm not saying go on a diet. Diets are the worst things.
Yeah.
People go on diets and then they stay on there for a little bit, then they come back, then they put twice the weight on. So I said, Mage, change your eating habits.
Change your habits.
And once he started to do that, he now is about 190.
Yeah.
He lost
yeah.
$190, and he exercises all the time. And I was like, Mage, that's all I was telling you. I wasn't telling you for to do anything drastic.
Yeah.
And this is just part of his life now.
Yeah.
And I say to people all the time, I say, let me tell you something. I have a friend, my best friend. he was 240. Now he's 190. But he took it off within a certain amount of time. He didn't take any pills. He didn't go on any diet. He just
Stayed
went
active.
along with his life.
active.
Changed,
My motto.
stayed active, and he changed the way he was eating. And once he changed the way he was eating, Mays was drinking soda all the time.
Yep.
He was drinking soda, sweet tea, all that stuff. He put. I said, Mays, that's how you put the weight on. But now he changed the way he eats. He every time I see him, Mays like, oh, I'm not eating that. No, I'm not eating that. It's not because he can't.
No.
Because he chooses not
to.
to. So there's a big difference between can't and choosing not to.
Living healthy and not living
Exactly.
healthy.
If Major says, "Oh, look, I want to go eat it," someone puts a cheesecake in front of him, he'll say, "Oh, I don't want it," or he'll say, "I'll eat it." But that's his choice.
Right.
It's not because some doctors say, "Okay, well, you're a diabetic and you can't eat that," which there are quite a few people out there that just can't do it, but they still do it. Right. It's a choice now. I don't feel like eating it. Do I want to go get a whole pizza pie? Yeah, I can go get a pizza pie. But guess what? My body's going to do. My body's going to crap it out because my body's going to say, "Hey, look, dude, I know what you're doing, but we need to get this out."
Good.
That's
right.
just your body already knows.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because you don't do it on a regular basis.
No, you don't do it on a regular basis.
You eat it in
No,
moderation.
Right.
Yeah, you got to reward yourself once in a while with something
Exactly.
you like.
Right.
But in a constant, everyday, wherever I've worked over the years. Now, this last place I'm working now is 5 years. In 5 years, I've eaten at the cafeteria once. I bring all my own food every day. And I make sure there's fruits and vegetables. I make sure there's lean turkey if I wanted to, something like, because I don't eat too much red meat. But everything I'm doing is I'm not gonna go to the cafeteria and eat their fried food and God knows how.
But you see, Mate does the same thing when he goes to work.
Yeah.
He does the same thing when he goes to work. He brings his own food.
Bring your own food.
He doesn't eat. When people would bring in pizza, Chinese food, and all that stuff, he'd just be like, "I'm good.
Yeah,
I have mine.
right.
I'm good."
Yeah, and some people take that. We're having pizza today. Oh, I bet you won't eat with us. You're right.
Yeah.
I says, look what I have here. My wife is a great cook.
Yeah.
I says, look what my wife makes. And everything she makes, tries to make it healthy because she's always had problems, stomach problems. So by her eating healthy that way, just taught me the way.
Yep.
Because I was that way. Like I say, Coke.
Yeah.
I bet you I had 12 Cokes in the
I
morning.
used to love Coke. I'm like, Coke is still one of my favorites.
Everyone used to love Coke.
Oh, you're
Everyone.
addicted. You're addicted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and even now, like if I drink a Coke, like I'll have a taste for one. As soon as I taste it, I'll be like, oh my God, why am I?
no.
And it's always a can that I'll buy.
I can't do it.
And
I can't do it.
And
No,
I end up,
Coke, yeah.
I end up spitting it out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I feel like a mouthful of sugar in it.
Yeah.
I have to really be craving for one, and I might do it just to cut the craving,
Right.
but I won't have one to,
Right.
who knows when.
No, not, yeah. I can't remember the last time I had one.
Right. Me neither.
Yeah. And they used to be, what was that? Coke, Sprite, Pepsi, blah, blah.
Right.
And I'm
My
not
nephew
knocking any of
mentioned
the.
it yesterday. Yesterday he said, I feel like a Coke. He said, what are you having? I said, I'm just having water. I said, that's it, water. I'm like, he said, I'm like, he said, man, you used to love Coke. I said, I know. I said, for some reason I don't want one. I just rather have water.
False calories plus the.
Right.
the
Oh yeah, but what it is the mind again.
Oh, yeah.
Is the market? They put it out there and they say, hey, look, you can get a liter of Coke for $1.49. Oh wow, I'm
it
doing
looks good,
great.
though.
My brother was doing that. He was,
A liter.
you could get a liter for $1.49. So I just stock up on those.
Yeah.
I said, that is bad for you, right? He's like, what are you talking about?
no,
I said,
Coke.
that's why you can't get that weight off. You do know that, right? That is just bad for your body altogether.
Yeah.
Or you go to the movie theater and they show you the previews of the popcorn
God.
and then the
Yeah.
Coke, and then you hear the ice clink, 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 get into the cup there, and then you hear the sizzle and stuff. And I say, man, it sounds good.
And it takes it costs them probably 30 cents for a glass of Coke, and you're paying $10.
$10, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're going, look at this guy. Yeah, I don't think so.
And God forbid if you get water in there, you're paying about $7, $8 even for the water. So bring your own
Popcorn.
water.
I bring my grandkids to go see movies. Get out with some. And now they got the arcades. So I got to play in the arcades with them.
Oh, yeah.
That costs you another $50, $60 because everything's $1 a game.
Right.
Then I want popcorn. I want this. They're your grandkids, all right.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
out with your grandfather. But the whole thing's going to cost you $110 to go to
right.
see a movie, a cartoon.
Yeah.
Movie. So
Yeah.
I hope this is good.
Guys, that's about all the time we have. We flew through an hour that way. Wow.
That was easy.
You got to come back. We got to do this again. We got to come back.
My pleasure. It'll be my pleasure.
Million things to talk about. Even another Taekwondo show, because you guys could do day after day after day, especially with the technique and your knowledge. So if anyone, this is live right now, but DrakeItTV.org, you can catch this show anytime you want. You can YouTube it. It's on Spotify.
Let me get a shout out. I got to get a shout out to my my other students, black belts, Kathleen Burrell Brown, and also and Anthony Saunders. He's an assistant instructor as well as she is, and also to Kato. She's also a black belt. And Nick.
Don't miss anybody.
No, I got to put these shout outs out because these are quality people.
There you go.
And they just do a great job. Val and Danielle.
Yeah.
These are all people that just train. They train hard. I mean, I hope I didn't miss anyone. Huh?
My cousin Danielle?
Yeah.
It just runs in the family.
In the family.
He has my cousin.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, if I forget anyone, I apologize.
No,
but, there's so many people.
Because you kind of just.
Yeah.
I mean, and how many? Like, think about it. How many thousands of students went through?
Well, you want something funny? There's one guy. His name is Ken Mattet, and his son is Seth in Connecticut. They do White Tiger.
Right.
We came up together. And you probably even know Ken.
I know the name. I know the name. Yeah.
When Ken is like Ken, I always say, look, he's my brother.
Yeah.
And people say racism, all this and that. No. When I say Ken is my brother,
right.
Ken is white.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's my brother.
That's my brother.
People get upset, like, what do you mean that's your brother? That's my brother.
Of course
From a different mother.
Yeah.
But that's my brother.
That's right.
And there's not a thing you can do to Ken that
right.
I won't say something because I know Ken's going to look out for me as well. So you meet a lot of people through it.
You do, and you know what? It keeps you younger also.
Oh yeah,
because you learn compassion, you learn empathy, you learn what it takes to keep people happy also.
Yeah,
but then again, you're walking through life. You know the martial arts. You know how to handle yourself. You don't have to try to prove. Too many people try to prove themselves all the time. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You just say, "Wow, I've trained hard my whole life. It was worth it. I would not trade it for anything in the world."
No. I met so many different people. I'm telling you, and it has nothing to do with. And it's a sad thing now with society is all about race and all this other stuff. It had nothing to do with race.
No.
We know each other because of we compete together. It had nothing to do with I'm black and you're white.
And not only that,
Bob's we're always tied to the joint.
The thing is, you're training and you're working out with every race, ethnicity, every type of person in the world, and you learn. Wow, we're brothers. We're brothers. We're a brotherhood. And it does. It puts you together. Well, it's almost like, if you're on a baseball team, a winning baseball team, I always say, that's what the martial arts are. If you've got the right people and the right instructors, you're the winning team. You're having more fun together. You're having fun together. And you're getting in shape. And, Guys, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. You guys are the best. What I say, we'll do it again very soon. Very soon, all right?
Sounds good.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
And I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you.
All right.